Art is too important not to share. Welcome to the Allie and Callie Artcast.
Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Kristen, and we're with the Arts and Culture Alliance.
And Kristen is here because Callie is still in Italy.
That must be rough.
Oh man, she's having such a good time.
It looks like they just did Rome.
They did. They just did Rome, and they're headed to the Amalfi Coast.
Didn't they do the Amalfi Coast when they went down?
No, they're ending their trip with the Amalfi Coast. So they went to Venice, and then they went somewhere on their way to Florence, and then they headed to...
Florence is way up north.
Yeah, I know. So is Venice.
Yeah, and then Rome back down. Oh, that's right.
Anyway, they went to Venice. Then they took the train and ended up in Florence, spent a few days in Florence, and then they took the train to Rome. And they can't take the train to the Amalfi Coast.
Oh,
they
can't?
No, you have to rent a car. No, you know, all those little windy roads that are kind of scary. I hear that it's really a good idea to hire a driver to go on those roads.
Oh, sure. That makes total sense.
They're scary. Anyway.
Well, it looks amazing no matter what, and I'm super jelly, but...
Yeah, well, I've been there. They were in front of the Trevi, is it the Trevi fountain? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I was right there.
Really?
Throwing my coin in that fountain.
Well, I saw some of their pictures from...
the Coliseum.
The Coliseum, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Looked amazing. We'll have to get a full-on... Maybe we should just do a Callie Recap Italy show.
Right.
She can talk about all the artwork they saw.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I know, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
What's new and exciting in your life?
My garden.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. My husband built me these awesome raised beds. They're 27 inches tall. And
they look amazing.
Yeah, I got all my garden planted. It's very happy.
I have like 2 flower boxes.
Oh.
They're not even boxes, they're planters.
Did you plant them?
I did.
Well, good.
Well, one was a Mother's Day gift.
Yes.
The other 2 I planted. What were those things that Hagedon puts in front of the hotel?
Geraniums.
Geraniums?
Red geraniums.
Yes, mine's orange.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
I know I have a thing about red geraniums. I cannot have red geraniums.
It's a Hagedon thing.
Yeah, it is.
I think he kind of just like... What is the term for that? Where you hoard something,
I think the term is hoard.
Okay, there you go. So you know what I'm really super excited though about?
What
is our upcoming trip to Ocean Shores?
Yes, we're going to go visit Jeffro Uito, a driftwood artist who does really beautiful work.
Cool stuff.
We were introduced to his work at Cranberry Road Winery because they have his work everywhere, and they're the ones that introduced us to him. So we're pretty excited about a little road trip.
I know, it'll be fun. And it's Ocean Shores.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have good weather.
Hopefully.
I haven't been to Ocean Shores since I was a kid. Like a little kid. My grandparents used to go there every, this time of year.
Yeah.
And spend, a week in some timeshare right on the beach.
Uh-huh.
It was amazing. Do you have to go down and then...
You go through Tacoma and then you take these windy roads and you just head to the ocean.
Head to the coast.
That's right.
I love it. It's going to be so much fun.
Well, I'm excited to have the Grubbs here with us today.
No, me too.
Chris and Sheila Grubb are both artists in the community. Chris is also an engineer. I'm not going to talk about them anymore. I'm going to let them talk about themselves. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I feel like this legitimizes us as artists to actually be on this show, because you haven't made it unless you're on the Allie and Callie show, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think this is kind of our pinnacle.
We did it, Chris.
Yeah, we did
it. Yeah, you did it.
You're like, Ben, I'm done. See you later.
I know.
And Grubb out.
I always call us celebrities in our own mind.
Right?
Well, I set out, when we first started this show, I set out, I'm like, I'm going to make you 2 famous.
Come on.
And now they've walked in fashion shows.
What?
And what else?
We made it. We walked in fashion shows.
You did it.
That's the pinnacle. That's it.
That's a dream, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more, though. Anyway.
Wow.
There's really not. Anyway, welcome. And let's hear a little bit about you guys and your backgrounds.
Sure.
Oh, wow. Well, we're married.
We're married.
case people didn't figure that out.
30 years.
It's a 30
years.
Actually, yeah.
You're
we're
getting
having
a
our
2-for-1 show there,
our-
people.
Right. We're having our 30 year here in July coming up, so that's a lot of
Well,
fun.
congratulations.
Thank
We
you.
made
We
it,
were
but,
just babies.
Yeah, I think we've always kind of been around the arts. All of our friends are always artists, and
Our first couple of dates, all we talked about was art.
Really?
Yeah, like our second date, we sat on rocks, watched, it was the 4th of July, watched the fireworks, talked about Salvador Dali, and all kinds of things. Yeah.
Wow.
Matisse. Yeah, I was an art student at the time, and he's obviously an artist.
I didn't
at heart.
really care about art. I was just trying to get in there with it. So.
Yeah. So, we went to an art gallery on our first date.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right,
So art has been always been.
Actually, at the end of that gallery, I said to her, this is our conflicting story. I said, so, we've done all these things. I made a picnic, all that stuff. And I said, so we can either go to another gallery, I can just take you home. She's like, you can just take me home. And I was like, okay. Message received. And I actually, after that, I was like, well, I guess that didn't work out as well as I thought. And so I wasn't going to.
Picture me rolling my eyes because that's not true. He had done so many great things that I was like, I'm not going to ask for any more. No, I wasn't tired, but I'm not going to ask for more. This was a great date. It was the best date I had been on in a very long time.
And contrary to 1992 etiquette, she asked me out on the second date, right? And then actually, after that, it was pretty much
it.
Pretty much
Because if she hadn't, you wouldn't have.
because I didn't think that she had a good time.
Insane, right?
Yeah, it was great.
It's just, it blows my mind that 1992, which I swear to God, I feel like I remember that.
antiquity,
Like
13 years ago? Yeah, maybe.
Was 30 years ago.
I know.
31.
31 now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we were married a year later.
So we've kind of both dabbled in the arts. I'm a musician as well, and I've
You are? What do you play?
I play bass.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so I've played in bands, for 20 years, and played in front of 2 people, and have played in front of thousands. So it's just the whole creative aspect of life is necessary for us. I mean, whether it's with the music or visual arts or other performing arts, it's always been something that has surrounded us. And our kids are both. So we have a 26-year-old daughter who lives in Brooklyn, and she's a graphic designer.
Nice.
And we have a 23-year-old son who is currently in Indianapolis finishing up his flight training, and he's hopefully going on to fly for Delta, which will get us free tickets.
Yay!
So,
Can't go wrong there.
I know. And he's an artist too. He does video and photography, and so it just permeated. And my mother is a painter. My grandmother was a painter. So I come from that lineage myself. And you have some of that in your life as well.
Yeah,
right?
I have. If you can hear my southern accent at all,
play it up.
Okay.
Give us your real deal.
I'm from the South, too.
My brother, I have a cassette tape recording of my brother asking me questions when I was probably 5. And he was like, so what's your name? And I was like, Sheila Ann Howe.
Sheila Ann Howe.
But he was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be an artist. And so I guess I knew early on that somewhere in the arts that would be my livelihood.
Right.
So
where did you grow up?
I was born in Brunswick, Georgia, which is kind of the coast, St. Simon's, Jekyll Island, and then inland, Valdosta, southern Georgia, close to Florida, like I think 10 miles from Florida, and then Atlanta from 18 till we moved here.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Is that where you guys met? Is in Atlanta?
Yeah. I have to tell you the story of us, of me getting her here, because she's never lived anywhere but Georgia until 4 years ago.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
So, so my parents live here in town, and they've lived here since the 80s. And so we've been coming here for decades.
Right.
I actually worked for Hagedon when I was 17 years old. I walked the parking deck, and I busted people clipping Mercedes-Benz emblems off, because this is 1989, and this is like hip hop, big chains, Mercedes emblems around the chest, and So it was my job to bust them for doing that. And so on one of our vacations here, I guess 6 years ago now, I took her over to the resort and got her a nice glass of wine. And I said, I think it's time to live on my side of the country. We've done 25 years on your side. Now it's my turn. So after she stopped crying, we started making plans, and it took us 2 years to get here. We bought a house, which was difficult to do even back then, and wanted to see our son have a good year in college before we deserted them on the East Coast. And so we've been here. It'll be 4 years, probably this week or next week or at the end of June or something like that.
Wow.
So, and that's really, as far as art is concerned, that's really when we kicked off really focusing on our individual art, because with the kids being gone and it's amazing how much time you have.
Yeah,
when
it's
you
crazy.
don't have kids to deal with anymore.
Driving anybody
It's
around.
amazing. I know. I was like, oh my gosh, I can have like a whole nother career at this point.
Yeah, we went to the ink rally. Was it the ink rally? Yeah,
it
Emerge's
was.
ink rally, and I
my
signed up.
favorite event.
I love that event.
2019.
2019.
Right? Yeah.
I and my mother-in-law and we signed up for a beginner pottery class, and so my pottery class was a Tuesday night, and that's the same night that he started doing a sculpting class.
Right.
And that's kind of
through Cheryl, the illustrious Cheryl Metcalf.
yes.
I had talked to her before at one of the Art on the Greens that a few years ago, but hooked up with her and heard they had this sculpting class over at Terry Lee's studio up in Hayden, and I went there same night, like you said, and so we kind of started that at the same time, and we're both just headlong into it now at this point. So that's kind of how we got here. And
you are headlong into it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you also are an engineer.
I'm a structural engineer.
Structural engineer.
One of the nerdy engineers, yeah.
Which is really funny, because when I think of an engineer, I think right brain, not left brain.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, it's math and physics is what I do all day long for sure. And so I think for me the art is a nice balance, and I need that. It's an escape for me, honestly. It's I go home. Well, I'm working on a big commission right now, so I'm very focused, but I go home and grab some dinner, and then I go into the studio until 11 o'clock.
Wow.
And then get up and do it again, and but it's not a drudgery by any means. I have a great sound system. I have a great subwoofer in there, and I crank the music and just escape. And time flies by, as you guys know, being artists yourselves. That you blink your eyes and hours have gone by, and So
I think that's the greatest thing about his personality, is that he was when we met, Georgia Tech student, but he had this artistic side. He dressed artistically. I mean, just like free and just, so I think that was nice to meet someone with both sides.
Right.
Of the coin.
It's also a challenge, from what she tells me from time to time.
True.
Well, marriage wouldn't be fun if it wasn't challenging from time to time.
Right. You got to keep the spice going.
Right.
Spice. I like that word. It's spicy. Spicy. For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Callie and I are always talking about our husbands in here.
Are you
really?
on the podcast? Did they listen to the podcast?
No, my husband actually told me that he wouldn't listen to the podcast because I make fun of him.
Oh.
And I said, I don't make fun of you. I just make fun of the garage that's a mess.
Well, that's half of it was not half. They were getting to the point where they were talking about their husbands so much that we actually did a show around.
Oh.
And we call it The Wine with Allie and Callie, which WHINE.
Sure.
And
we incorporated real wine.
But we actually incorporated real wine. So we
real wine makes the other whining flow.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Makes
But they weren't here to defend themselves, so you should have had them on the show. Maybe you need to do another one.
We've talked about having them on the show instead of us.
Oh, really?
And let them whine.
Let them whine.
That would actually be a lot of fun.
It would be really fun.
Hey y'all, it's Jason from Tubbs Coffee Roasters. We are North Idaho's specialty coffee roaster. We are homegrown and we are local. We love coffee and we love our community, especially Allie and Callie and Artcast. We have a retail space in our roastery in Hayden, and we can also be found on the shelves at Super One and Yolks. And if you like to buy coffee online, we do offer subscriptions. You can find us at tubscoffeeroasters.com. Support arts and culture and your local roaster. That's all.
Speaking of Emerge, both of you are actually pretty involved with Emerge.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, it happened as...
I mean, you did say you went to the ink rally, which
I did.
would have totally gotten me right there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it was just, the ink rally was another one of those items that we experience here in town that just makes us love being here, right? I mean...
Yeah.
The art community here, of course, that's about all we know. Is all of our friends are artists, and
right.
And so, but the art community here is so active, and it's a great community, and that really drew us in for sure. But what started our more direct involvement was I was walking to my office one day. I'm over in the Rockford building where Cheryl is, and this other artists. And Tandon, yeah. And as I was walking to work, I noticed Emerge's building on fire.
Oh,
if you remember that.
Yes, I
Street,
do.
Of course. And I sat there, and it was a spectacle, obviously, to see that whole place. It was, And so a few weeks later, I reached out to Jenny, the executive director of Emerge, and said, "Hey, if I can be of service in my engineering to, pro bono do engineering drawings for you for your new space, then I'm all about that." And that's, she eventually called me back on that, and we went to work designing the new space right there on 2nd Street and Lakeside, and I think that really kind of began our involvement. And then Sheila, through the pottery classes, and Sheila is amazing at event planning, the beautification, especially part of event planning and themes. And so she began to get involved in that side, and let her talk about that. But that's kind of how we got is the fire. The fire is what drew us in.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that funny? I was laying in bed. Well, I was fast dead asleep, and it was like 2 a.m. And Susie, who used to have the doghouse, calls me, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's on fire!"
Yeah.
And then she puts me on FaceTime. Here I am, like.
Yeah.
Barely awake, and I see I'm watching it on her phone. It was
awful.
It was the craziest thing, but she couldn't get a hold of Jenny. I had to get a hold of Jenny.
Oh, you did.
And let her know.
What a phone call to make, right?
Yeah, well, she didn't answer the phone, so I just left her a message.
Yeah. When you get this.
Yeah, when you get this, you might want to
Were they out of town?
No, they were here.
Out of town? Okay.
It was so early, though, right?
Yeah, it was really early in the morning.
I was walking to work at like 6 a.m, and they were just finishing up. So it was,
it was really sad. But, just like anything that, you hear the saying, one door closes and another one opens, French doors open for them.
Right. Isn't that? Yeah, their new space is
It's amazing.
It's a great space.
Yeah, especially compared to what they had before. They have some, much more square footage and and presence with the windows on 2 sides, and it really did turn out to be a blessing in disguise, and now they're able to do so much more with their space. It helped the community so much more, and it holds so many more classes and
100%.
bigger shows and music now, with the stage and a complete sound system and lighting system.
Yeah.
So, it's a pretty amazing jewel, I think, in the arts community here for sure. Of course.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So speaking of jewel, though, what happened, once you guys got your hands on that place?
Yeah, well, you know, if anyone remembers, it used to be the frame
of mine.
shop,
with low ceilings.
With very low ceilings.
Which
Lots
I
of
remember
carpet.
because one day I was out delivering Art Walk balloons and I got them all tangled up and I had to stop in there and untangle them. And I could only do it there because the ceilings were low enough that I could capture them.
I mean, they couldn't have been much more than 7.5 feet. It was
they were
crazy.
very low. Yeah.
So as part of the demolition, we found some asbestos in the ceiling, and so we decided we were going to have to remove it and replace it. And when we removed the ceiling, it exposed these amazing barrel trusses that formed the roof of this structure. And we got up there in the attic space. We couldn't even believe our eyes at what this looked like. And so obviously we decided we need to expose all this stuff, which has its complications engineering wise. You got to put insulation on the outside. We had to re-roof the whole thing. Just to get insulation in there. But now that space is so amazing. The walls are super tall and just all we really did was dust off the wood up there. We didn't treat it with. It was just so I can't even believe that was hidden up there.
I know.
There was a day when, well, you know, energy costs, they were trying to keep heat down low, right, in this cold climate. So
is it difficult to heat that building now?
Yeah, because we didn't replace the air conditioning system, which was an antique already. You know, I mean, so donations, please.
Right.
It's a nonprofit, 501c3.
HVAC donation.
So now you sit on the board.
Now I'm on the board. Yeah, I started as I came in as just a board member, then was secretary. Now I'm the chair. So, so I get to lead the meetings and kind of help just lend our, everyone on the board. We have a very active board. A lot of nonprofit boards are just kind of figureheads because you have to have a board,
right? And
you have to have board meetings. Right. This is a very functioning board. There's a lot of brain power on this board, and I'm talking to everybody else. There's a lot of brain power there.
Yeah.
And so it's very active. We get things done, make some great decisions, and try to adhere to the the mission of Emerge, which is just being a great part of the community. And,
right.
Yeah. Unifying the art community and so forth. So yeah.
Great job.
So.
Well, Sheila, tell us a little bit then about the pottery classes.
Oh, they're so fun. I took 2 beginners and then I think an intermediate, and that was like right after the fire, and haven't taken any more. But I'm going back, I think maybe this fall to take some hand building. My instructor was Casey. She's not there anymore, but she's still a mentor. She is on the board. Yes, and we've sat on many committees together. It just kind of takes you from the beginning of like, the particles of the clay to, you leave with these great pieces. And I was doing the class with my mother-in-law. She's very meticulous like Chris and loves tiny little details. She did not enjoy the class. I, however, am much more of a go with the flow kind of person, and I loved the process of let's just see what this piece of clay wants to do. But anyway, you're surrounded with so many great artists that just guide you along, and you definitely leave feeling successful. Like you leave with some really cool pieces that you'll look back years later and go, wow, that's bad. But you never know. You could be a natural at it.
Yeah, well, one of our favorite events that we love at Emerge is the Smackdown?
Throwdown.
Thank you.
Throwdown.
Rename it Smackdown.
Yeah,
Smackdown. Right.
That is fun
that's mud wrestling. That's a slightly different clay type of sport.
Yes.
Hey, Jenny, mud wrestling. We're going to talk about the next board meeting.
We could do that outside.
Yeah.
That could be part of one more event.
Well, I have some of your pieces.
Oh, you do?
I do. Well, I gave one of your mugs to my daughter-in-law for her birthday or Christmas. I can't remember what, but she loves it. And she had just been in a car accident and it was her van, which was her home, and she had all these beautiful mugs that she had collected over the years that got smashed. So it was nice to help her rebuild her collection.
Right. I remember
Sheila's pottery is different in that it's rather chic. right? She does a lot of white and not as much, but it's got a different tone to it. I think it actually looks a lot like our house, which is all white and black, and
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
if she's dressed in
I'm
black,
wearing black.
today. So. But when people come into our gallery, they it really resonates with them because it's just different than the kind of the earthen tone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I
So,
find.
yeah.
I mean, I love all of it, but I love the way your pottery looks.
Well, thank
it's
you.
just clean, and it's almost, I want to say, architectural somehow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If
it's
that-
refined for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
My favorite ceramicist is an artist in Atlanta. Her name is Charlotte Smith, and I've collected a few of her pieces. And I'm like, if I could one day do this, I'm nowhere near it, but she's my inspiration.
Well,
so
that's
if you ever
good.
want to
You-
look her up, she's pretty amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to school for art, but you didn't learn ceramics
I did
until you came
not.
here. What was your medium prior to that?
I was studying art history.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, art history. I thought maybe one day I could work at a gallery. Ended up, once my kids were past a certain age, after a year and a half of
Self-sufficient kind of stuff, yeah.
homeschooling, which was very hard. I
Kudos
actually
to those mothers and fathers who make that happen.
yeah, right.
bless
that
you.
work.
Yeah.
Bless you. people.
Exactly.
But one of my best friends, she had an art gallery. This is in Atlanta. Her husband's a painter. And so they had their gallery. And then Tim just really wanted to be a painter and to be out of the gallery business. So Donna and I joined forces and then asked another friend, and we relaunched their gallery and its musing company, Fine Art. It's still going on in Atlanta. But we did that for years, and we each took a couple of days to do
Yeah,
that.
years, like 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Oh,
They're still
wow.
going. Yeah, a
Gallery,
long
so,
time
right.
before, and got out of it a little bit before we left. So I actually did what I thought I would do, but actually owned it with some girlfriends. So it was a lot of fun.
Fun.
And my favorite part too was working with the artist. They were really great at selling pieces. I really loved working with the artist and helping them grow and support them and encourage them, and it's
Market
like,
themselves, which artists are horrible at.
Right. Some are really amazing at it. And also like helping them to say, if you make something that you really love, I don't think you need to follow the trends. Like don't make things just because you think, oh, this will sell. So
Right.
just be yourself. People will love it. There's always, an audience for it.
Right.
So yeah, that was my favorite part.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What so in taking art history, so we've noticed over the years, or I've noticed over the years, and coming from Coeur d'Alene and went to NIC and then traveled and did all that stuff, that arts administration is such an important piece. Is that a part of art history in any of that curriculum at all?
I don't recall.
I think arts administration is way different than art
Something
history.
completely different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
That's more
art
like
history,
a business degree maybe or something.
right? Art administration, I think, is more about the business of art, whereas
Well, yeah.
art history is connecting the past to the present with art. I think,
Right.
At least
Okay.
that's the way I see it.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Some
And now
education right there.
Where's that?
They should be
tone?
connected.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right. So in your art history lessons, what was your favorite part of it? What did you gain and get the most out of?
Let's see. I did not. I remember just loving talking about certain artists, like George O'Keeffe was quite interesting. Henri Matisse, I remember loving, and then we're talking early 90s. Yeah, those are my favorite, just learning about the things that I love. But then you just learn to appreciate the parts that you're like, well, that's not really my style of painting. I wouldn't have that in my home, but it's interesting. You appreciate so much. And I think being in the classrooms with certain teachers, just bringing it all alive, to life.
Did you find that it came really natural to you?
Well, I'm not a natural student. It's not my thing, so it's a lot of memorizing. So I probably took away more of the appreciation of it all.
Right.
I think that's probably.
I think that's what I got out of art history also, was just the appreciation.
Yeah. If I did it over again now, it'd be a different story probably.
Yeah.
Would you take art history again if you had the chance?
Probably, and then maybe the art administration. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing.
I think probably, that would have helped on the, the gallery owning side.
Oh,
of
sure.
It. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think that whole thing has changed now. I mean, I think there's probably still some very successful galleries, but you just see with Instagram the artists who have been super successful just marketing themselves. But that takes a special person. But I don't think every artist wants to, I don't use this derogatory in a derogatory way, but sell themselves. I mean, not everybody wants to do that.
Right, because everybody's in it for personal reasons.
Right.
And some people are interested in selling, and some people just want to use it as a way to
Escape.
Yeah.
Right.
Escape.
Therapy.
Therapy, right.
Hey ladies, have you heard about NIA yet? Hi, I'm Marilee Wallace, and I'm a proud board member of the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance and owner of NIA. That's short for the North Idaho Alliance. We specialize in leadership development, specifically focused in connecting women to programs, workshops, and networking to educate, empower, and enrich their lives. Our goal is to make positive impacts in the community while helping other women in North Idaho succeed. Next up is our annual Onward and Upwards Women's Conference set for May 24th, and our new event, Women with Cool Jobs, scheduled for early summer. And then keep a lookout to register for our super popular Women of Impact Leadership Roundtable series. That begins every September. So I hope you'll look us up. We're at thenorthidahoalliance.com. Find us on Facebook or just give us a call, 208-660-1557. Go out and make it an impactful day.
All right, so you've been here for 4 years.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I actually love it here. I wish my people were here. But
Who are your people?
My people,
Explain
my
that.
sister, my nieces, nephews,
Her extended southern family.
Right.
Listen,
And not to mention our children who are 2,500 miles away.
Yes, I wish my children lived here. They love it here, though. I love the life that we've cultivated or curated. I can
Curated.
use
I like
an artist
that.
term.
Right.
I love the arts community. I love the people that we've met. I think it's definitely living in a place where we can ride our bikes and walk everywhere. We visit the same local places all the time. That you start seeing your world start, the little circles of people you meet, they start converging.
Right.
And I love that. And the cold doesn't bother me too much until March.
Right.
And I'm done.
And then you're like over it. The rest of
And
us
then
are
I'm
too.
back in Atlanta for a week
Right.
or so. Yeah.
That was part of our agreement, is that if we're going to move here, I've got to fly her back home during those cold times.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I think it was after about a year and a half or so, we had a conversation. I said, I feel like you're waiting for me to come home every day and say, pack it up, we're going back to Atlanta. And I said, I just want you to know that's never going to happen.
And I'm like, please say never.
Yeah.
We don't have grandchildren yet, so who knows what that'll be like. But
you can't
we
follow
do love
your
it.
kids.
Right.
They're going to go off. Actually, us leaving Atlanta and coming here was the impetus to get our daughter, who always wanted to go to New York, to jump off and go to New York.
Yeah.
And if
that's
we were
cool.
still there, maybe
She
she
might
wouldn't
not
have done
have-
that. So
yeah.
This world, it's so small now with technology and just transportation is so easy that it really is easier for us to fly to Atlanta to see one of our kids than it would be to drive to Boise,
Right.
for instance.
Oh, for sure.
So it's not
for
that
sure.
big a world anymore.
I agree.
For sure.
It's definitely home now.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh, that's
It
good.
took me 2
Home's
years.
where I am, baby.
Right, exactly. I have lots of homes now, but this is definitely
Wait, whoa,
home.
hold on. Lots of homes?
Well,
If
Atlanta,
homes where I am, you have lots
South
of me's?
Georgia,
Okay, I
those
got it.
places.
Just
The places
checking.
in Georgia.
Typical
Making a
man.
public
You're number
record.
one. You're number one.
I want to know who's
Actually,
number 2 or 1A.
I really get that. My whole family lives in Virginia, and
Yeah.
I feel like my kids got the benefit of my mother, who would come out here and spend a week or two and immerse herself in their lives.
Yeah.
And even though it might have been once or twice a year, it still was that, solid amount of time.
Yeah.
Whereas in Virginia, she'd go and spend an afternoon with the kids.
Yeah.
And if you know my mother,
Yeah.
they're like, time to go, Mom.
Listen, I plan to have grandma camp or nana camp, whoever I am.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that too.
Yeah. Totally
Even
gonna
if we're
have
living
that.
in Portugal, I'm doing that.
Nice.
Nana camp from
Yeah,
Portugal.
fly Hendrix
Love
out
it.
of Portugal.
Can I come to Nana camp?
Yes, can I come too?
I want to go to Nana camp. I actually love that. I think I'm going to start calling it that.
Nana
Right?
camp, right?
Nana camp.
know.
I'm a long
Perfect.
ways from Nana camp,
Yeah.
sort of.
We have grandchild number 2 on the way, so I'm pretty excited.
Congratulations. Yeah.
But they're leaving Coeur d'Alene and moving to Sandpoint, which is not, that far away.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's not Brooklyn.
It's not Brooklyn.
But yeah, but it's got me thinking. Oh well, if they can move to Sandpoint, I could move to Portugal or Belize or Costa Rica or.
Nice.
Good. You
Yeah.
could have many places.
Yeah, my mom
Right.
was 4 hours away, and my kids absolutely adored her. She did show up with a gift every time. she
Well,
came
that
into
always
town.
helps, right?
Nana knows what to do.
Right, and now when I go back to Atlanta and I see all my great nieces and nephews, I'm like, got the gifts. I'm like, I'm just carrying on my mom's
Traditions.
traditions. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
I think
I
I
love
can be a nana. I think
Yeah.
I
There
can
are
do
so many
this.
Coeur d'Alene stickers in Atlanta,
Yes,
Georgia,
there
right now
are.
because of that.
Fake pickles, lots of little
right.
fake pickle, little
Toys and
little
stuff.
tiny
Did
toys.
you get some
That's
tub
perfect.
stickers? 'Cause
We
you-
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can take those to Georgia.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you hear that, brother? Anyway.
That's right.
Well, so before we wrap up, Chris, are you showing anywhere locally?
Well, I guess I do have work in Stan Craft's Jet Center. If anyone's been up there, it's quite a gallery that they have.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very mountain modern. I mean, the where they park the jets, they do like interiors for private jets, and, so it's high end stuff. Of course, they have some of their boats inside there too, but they have a whole platform. And it's full of my sculptures, which is really great. And I've actually sold more out of Stancraft than I have anywhere else here in Coeur d'Alene, and they don't charge a gallery fee at all. So it's very nice.
Nice.
But,
And you know where all those people are going? They're going up to Gazer.
yeah. It's funny because I've sold more sculptures to the pilots than I have to
very
their
cool.
Is that
fairs.
right?
Yeah,
Really?
which is interesting because they're the ones who were sitting there for 4 hours waiting
Of
for someone
course,
to
yeah.
show up. But so I'm in Stancraft, and of course we have a gallery in the Rockford building along with the other artists that are in there. So
That's right. We can see you
yeah,
guys
we
on
have-
art. We can see you guys on Art Walk.
Right,
Right.
on Art Walk
Yeah,
night.
every
and,
second.
It's called the gallery because we kept getting confused when we were talking about our home studio
And the
or
gallery.
the Rockford studio. So we're
Right.
like, let's call that the gallery.
gallery.
The gallery.
That's the name.
And I'm in a gallery in Steamboat and one in Atlanta, and so the most exciting thing I'm working on right now is my first big commission. It's a life-size sculpture of an 11-year-old girl sitting on a bench, and it's for an all-girls school. Yes, they still exist in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow.
So
Very cool.
I had to.
A life size.
Yeah.
That's
a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, so the model that the sculpture is made of lives in Malibu, so I had to fly to Malibu and do the measurements, and then I flew to Chattanooga to see where the installation was going to be, and so it's very exciting.
That's really exciting.
Commissions have a pressure to them though, which I don't care for.
Deadlines.
I'm going to sculpt. Well, I've told them. I said it'll be done when it's done. I was taking Rodin's. It's like you'll get it when you get it.
Yeah,
kind of
right.
thing, so one of my favorite sayings of Rodin is he was going to do a bust of this very rich lady, and she said, "Well, how long will it take?" And he said, to please you, a month. To please me, it's going to take a year. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like, I'm going to tell you, but there is pressure with that. But I'm very excited, partly because when you do a sculpture of this size, it helps you get more sculptures of that size.
Right.
Because when you're doing public art, the first question is, have you ever done a large sculpture before?
Yes.
And I'll be able to say yes.
Yes.
Now, did they seek you out, or did you commission, or did you submit an entry?
They sought me out. There was a personal connection. I went to college with the son of the family that is commissioning it.
Oh, that's very cool.
And he saw my work on Instagram and Facebook, and is commenting over the years, and then approached me about doing this, and so I was very excited about that for sure.
We'll be okay.
We'll be okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a low battery signal.
No
on there.
battery signal.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
We're going to wrap it up
too.
here pretty soon.
Yeah, we probably should wrap it up. So, that's so cool. I love the fact. I mean, one of my favorite pieces, or one of my favorite shows you did, was at Emerge with those perception boxes, or I'm not sure what they were called exactly, but they were so flippin' cool.
Oh yeah, one was agoraphobia. Right, that
right.
Was
I remember that one.
Girl in this big, ominous, infinite white box, and the other one was claustrophobia. Thank you. I couldn't think of the opposite. And she was in a tiny box.
No, that was a really cool show. I loved that show. Yeah, everybody was so taken by those
that was a lot
pieces.
Of fun. That was my first show. So Emerge, true to their style of helping emerging artists, and I'm not young at this point, but I'm an emerging artist, right? And that's Emerge gives people the chance to show their work, and that was my first show ever, so I was very very excited about that.
I remember really cool. It was a really cool show, and the piece of yours that I love is the woman falling.
Yes.
What's that one called?
It's called Decatastrophization.
Yes, right. It's a long name.
I always tell people, if you can pronounce it right the first time, I'll give you one of the sculptures.
I know, and I think
until someone did,
I'm pretty
and I said,
sure.
I'm not
never mind.
That's going to be expensive. Well, thank you. That piece seems to resonate with people.
There's just something about it that
I actually had a woman say, "I can't believe a man sculpted this." I was like, "Oh, okay." I kind of took that as a compliment.
Yeah, right.
Be sensitive. I cry every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, my office, we were right across the hall at Rockford, and so that's where I met Sheila and Chris for the first time.
Right.
And was watching you do the handgun piece and the Mickey Mouse.
I know there was
so I've always kind of wondered
the hands. That's his signature. The hands.
I don't know why that happened, but hands are very interesting, right?
He's been sculpting or carving for a very long time. Maybe early on,
like
19 bars of soap. And I was like, maybe one day when we're old, we'll just do art shows and you'll be a sculptor.
Right.
I mean, just not even knowing.
Like when we retire, right?
Yeah. So here we are. Not doing art shows. We're not retired, but he's a sculptor.
Well, I can't end this without talking about the mini art gallery that got put in front of your house.
Love it so much.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
There's two in town.
One's in
front of our house.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw the first one and I was like, Abby, this looks like our house, and I need one.
Right.
And I would love to have another art gallery.
Yeah, right.
But I can manage this.
I can manage this one.
Well, it was great because we had enough money to buy another one, and then you guys installed it, which
love it.
Just made it easy.
It's so fun. So we love to sit out on our front porch, and it's fun to watch people walk by and kind of do a double take.
I bet.
Right, and then and we find strange things in there from time to time, and people unfortunately take things. They took the man who was watching everything. If you have that man, whatever the ransom is, let us know.
Right.
Please don't advertise in it. Keep it fun.
Yeah,
but
I dropped something off. I forget what I left in there, but I got a little piece that Abby had done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
His
cool.
Chris's mom has done little landscapes. Little 2x3 landscapes. Amazing.
Oh, cool.
They're beautiful.
And I have to just, another plug for the town, in a sense, is that, we have many art galleries, which you guys sponsor that or make that happen. There's little libraries.
Yeah,
there's next door to us, Hannah Kuhn's, awesome artist, by the way.
Tom's.
And they have honey in a little hut in front of their house. And
cool.
It's just that's just because he grows the honey. That's what I just about said.
Yeah.
I almost said
He
grew
raises
honey.
bees.
He's a beekeeper.
I like growing honey. I have a friend that grows honey.
We grow the flowers that
Right.
but that's just the cool part of this town is
Yeah.
it's, those little aspects.
Yeah.
So that tiny art gallery is so much fun.
It is
It's a
so
nice
much
little
fun.
addition.
I
And
know.
it's right there. It's right there on Government Way, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
844 Government Way. Come
Yep.
on by.
Come on by.
Have a glass
But
of sweet
don't
tea.
take the little man.
And grab your honey. And
Grab some honey.
And get a book.
On their honey
I'm horrible at
dispenser.
the southern accent.
It says leave the money, take the honey is what it says on that little.
Oh, that's
that.
so cute.
Yeah, Tom and Hannah are amazing artists, and they also are Coeur d'Alene High School art teachers.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
he teaches pottery.
Oh,
She's the
wow.
art
And English.
director and the English.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So plug for our great neighbors.
Plug
Right. Right. There you go.
The honey
you
the
go.
honeydoers, the honey givers.
Well, I know that this community is in better shape because you guys are here.
yeah.
We love
That's
it.
very sweet
Yeah.
of you to say.
It's been really good getting to know you guys a little bit better.
Yeah.
Even though we were neighbors.
Right?
Office
But we're
neighbors.
busy. We're all busy, right?
We are all
Thanks for making us feel welcome, especially
Yeah,
this
of
little
course.
Georgia girl.
Yeah.
Georgia
Yeah.
girl.
We need more Southerners.
That's right. We
know,
need
right?
enough more Southern.
I could probably do a New York accent better than I could do Georgia.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
What, one word you're going to give us?
It's the long, that's all I got. It's the Long Island accents.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Sorry folks.
Park the car.
I wish there were video so you could see Kristen as she does those accents. 'Cause she puts her whole body into it. It's wonderful.
Right. On that note,
Thanks you guys so
yeah,
much for
thank you
being
so
here.
much
Really
for being
appreciate
here.
it.
Callie's going to be so bummed she missed this
I
one.
know.
Oh, she'll be here. She'll be here again.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
She'll be back. She'll be back. We miss you, Callie.
Yeah, we do miss you, Kelly.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And I'm Allie,
And I'm Kristen, sitting in for Callie.
and whatever you do today, make it creative.
The Allie and Callie Artcast is a program of the Coeur d'Alene Arts and Culture Alliance and is sponsored by NIA, North Idaho Alliance, a woman-based leadership organization designed to inspire, uplift, and impact your community and lives. And Tubbs Coffee Roasters, globally sourced, locally roasted coffee.